Hello crafty friends, it's Susie Chocolate from Talus for Touch, and today I'm doing a review for CraftWorld. I was thrilled to be chosen as one of the 5 people to review the Craft Artist Pigment Ink Colour Petal Ink box, and this is the colour that I was sent. So it's a range of sort of pinky purples and blues. I've done a little swatch of the colours before I started, and they're not as vibrant as they actually look on the petals. As you can see, I think that's that one, that is that one, and then that's that one, that's that one, and then these two are very pale, so that is this one, and this one, which looks like it's blue, actually comes out as a very pale sort of a lilac-y colour, and then this is that one, and this is the grey. And so I suppose those two are quite similar, but the others are quite different than I expected. They are a little bit more muted than I thought they were going to be vibrant. But anyway, I've got lots of bits to show. I try a whole load of different techniques with these inks in part 1 of my product review, so make sure you check that video out as well. This is part 2, which continues the review of the inks while making a fabulous Dragonfly card and matching envelope. And this is what we're going to be making. This is the topper that goes with it. And so what we need to get, oh, what do I want my stamp? Ah, here it is, Nana. Right, so what we need to, I'm just going to put the lids back on that. So we need some white card. We need a matching layer, depending on what colours you use for your stamping. I've obviously used the colours in the Craft Artist petal box. So I've used a blend of the 3 pinks in the middle. And then this outside colour here is this really, really dark one on top of some of the pink. And then I've stamped with a black memento, tuxedo black, and I've also stamped the stamp upside down with this really dark purple again to try and get it to coordinate with the edges. But you can use any colours, you can use any inks, whatever you've got in your stash really. The stamp is a woodware one, which is called Dancing Dragonflies, which I really love. I posted a different colour card on my blog and on CraftWorld a few days ago. It was a sort of a bluey, greeny, coloured card. But today we're going to stick with this colour scheme, and so we've got the ink. Here's the stencil that we're going to use. It's a 2-piece stencil, so it fixes together something like oh dear, this is like a jigsaw, this is, isn't it? No, it doesn't go there. Ah, there we are, goes like that. So it's a 2-piece stencil, so you can use them together or you can use them individually. So you could leave the centre in and just do your edge, so you have a white middle, or you can use your middle and have a patterned edge and have a plain middle, or you can do what I did, which was to just use the outer. So I had the outer edge as well as a blended middle. There we are. So that's a woodware stencil, and it's called Sunscreen. And so that's that. And so yeah, we've got white card, we've got a nice matching colour for the layer and the inks, and you'll need a blender, and probably I've used a heat gun to dry my layers in between doing the front. Then we've got some Cosmic Shimmer Pixie Powders. I've got a candy pink and a midnight blue to match the colours that I'm using today out of the petal box. So the Midnight Blue has got some beautiful blues and purples and a lovely sheen, depending on which way you hold it as to what colours you get. And then I'm going to mix that with a Candy Pink, which is some lovely shades of beautiful sheen pink. So that should pick up the, we're going to use that on the wings of the Dragonfly. I'm going to do a piece of card with Pixie Powders on it, and then stamp the stamp on the back and cut out just the four wings for each of them, and then we're going to stick it on to give it a bit of a 3D look. And then with a Quickie Glue Pen and some Night Fever Nouveau glitter, which I thought matched these colours really well. Just going to draw around the wings and wherever you want a little bit of extra sparkle. So that's all the things that we need to get the actual card done. And then I'm going to do a matching envelope with this big Dragonfly stamp that I've found in my stash. So it's dragonflies with, it's got love and happiness underneath the dragonflies there, and just some random leaf pattern. And so I'm going to stamp that on the envelope so that we get a matching envelope to go with it. And so yeah, let's go. Tape your 5.5-inch square white card to a scrap of A4 white paper by the very edge with some masking tape, and then tape the stencil all the way around on the top of that. Get your chosen inks ready, including either your foam blenders or your brush blenders. With your lightest colour, load up your brush blender or your foam blender with the palest colour and colour the middle. With your medium colour, load up your brush or your blender again and then colour around the edge. With your brightest or darkest colour, blend around the outside of the circle and into the edge of the squares. With your contrasting colour, starting on the outside of the square, gently blend in through the pattern and into the outside edge of the centre circle. With your lightest colour, or possibly the second colour, start gently blending in the contrasting colour on the outside of the circle right into the centre of the circle until you reach the desired effect. Then take off the masking tape and lift the stencil up sharply and reveal the magic you have created. Okay, so the background is all dried now. It's dried up a little bit paler than you saw on the when I was actually making it, and but it's really nice. I like the way that the colours have blended around the edges. I was hoping to have a paler middle, and these are I put the colours, swatched the colours onto here before I started, and yeah, that I thought was the paler one, which is what I started in the middle with, and as you can see it went quite dark. This is very sort of dark, which I didn't expect there, and so I had to blend it a little bit more than I wanted to, and so I started off with this in the middle and then went to this on the next layer and then blended into the brightest pink, and then this is the one, this is really dark one, is the one that I've used around the edges and blended. I blended it with foam, you know, little foam blender pads, and obviously it hasn't come out as dark, but it is mixed with some pink because I wanted to, you know, to get the colour blended through. I'm quite happy with the way it worked. The only thing that I would say, and maybe why this went a little bit dark in the middle, is the inks are quite wet, and so when you press it, when you press your blender on it, as you can see, it all squeezes out of the bottom, and I wonder if there was just a thicker bit round the edge, and that's why that happened in the middle there, because it has squidged underneath the stencil a little bit, just there is the pink, and it had happened there, and I've gone over it with a little bit of blue to try and cover the edge up. But this next stamp you won't notice it once the next stamp gets on. Anyway, it's in my platform, and here's the stamp that we're going to put on it. Sorry about that, it's my dogs. And we're going to do it two ways. So we're going to stamp it up the right way, like that, and then I'm going to turn the card round, so we then stamp it with it going up the other way, which means that there's two dragonflies together, and it looks really effective. I've got a card in yellows and greens and blues that I've already got on my blog, which is made with this, and I use Pixie Powders on the wings that I cut to put on. Sorry about that, perfect timing, just start to video record and somebody comes to the door. Yes, so we're going to do it twice, so let's get it up the right way. Let me just check that's the right way, and that's the right way up. So we're going to place it, I'm going to put this tall fern about half an inch in, I would say, and just make it equal top and bottom, and then we can space the other one. Cover my inks up. I keep forgetting to do that because they're not individual inks. I keep forgetting to cover them up. I don't know why, but anyway. Right, so let's get that in there. Cool, sticky. Let's put my magnets a bit further on. That's still going to be okay. Yeah, that's good. Oh, no, not down there. That's not going to be okay. There we are, that's good. And I'm going to use some Memento Tuxedo Black on the stamp. I think that's getting a good covering. We can always do another stamp because that's what's the benefit of the platform, and see what that looks like if we pop it on there. Yay, look at that. I love this stamp. Right, I've given it a good clean up, and so we can just make that a little darker so that these words show up a little bit more on the wings. Perhaps I should use a cloth instead of a sleeve. And then you can see what it turns out like. So there we are. Let's give it a bit of a rub. Let's see what that's like. Oh, look at that. That's smashing. That's smashing. Right, I'm just going to wipe my stamp with my cloth. It comes up really nice and clean, these stamps. This is a Woodware Magic, Clear Magic stamp called Dancing Dragonflies, and so I'm just going to try this because it just looks a little bit not plugged in. That's not very helpful, is it? Try again. Sorry about the noise. Just heat it up a little. Just going to give it a quick whiz over with the heat gun, just to make sure that is dry, so we don't smudge it. Yeah, I think that's looking good. That's nothing too shiny there now. And so I'm just going to turn this up the other way. And replace my stump just so that the dragonflies are separated. And so that's the dragonfly there, and I don't know if you can pick up the dragonfly there, but I'm just going to make sure that the wings are not overlapped, and so it's going to come a bit further over here, and so that dragonfly is in front of that one, and then this dragonfly here is coming in front of that one, something like that. They do overlap a tiny little bit, but that's fine because these we're going to cut some wings out in a minute on from some other paper. But just get it where you think it's best. Doesn't really matter as long as it's on. And then I'm going to use the darkest blue in the petals, which is what I've used for this outside colour. And hopefully it will turn out that sort of blue colour, and we'll find out. So I don't know if are we on camera? I think we're on camera now. So let's give this a good... I like these little handles. They're really nice to hold, to put your ink on your stamps. I just want to put them down that way instead of turning them up to do it that way. I just find that a little bit awkward. But I expect that I'd get used to it. And so give that a nice ink up. Right, and then it's magnetic. The this case is magnetic, so it just slips back into place really well. And then get your lid on, and so slide back again, and then we're going to re-stamp again. Let's get my dirty old cloth. Well, it's actually is clean, it's just very inky. Let's hope that this is working. Yeah, that's nice. Look at that. That's lovely. I'm not going to do that again because I think just the first stamp of that is dark enough. I think that just looking a little bit faded and second generation, I like that. I think that looks excellent. Yay, pleased with that. So there we are. Look at that. Looks smashing. Yep. And so these inks are very wet. They do take a long, I have found they take a long time to dry, so I am just going to heat dry it so that we can put it away while we do the next little section, where we're going to put some Pixie Powders onto another piece of white card, and then stamp the dragonflies and fussy cut out the wings so that we get some 3D. There we are. I think that's dry enough. So we're just going to set that aside. Yeah, love that. Just going to set that aside, and I will clean my stump. This is just a cloth from Morrison's, I think it is, at the kitchenware part, and for any supermarket would have them, but it doesn't leave any. It sort of feels a little bit felty and very soft and smoothie, but it really, you can just wipe off your ink and it doesn't leave any residue, doesn't leave any fluff or anything. I think it might have been called an anti-static cloth. Yeah, I'm just going to pop that away because I'm very good at losing my stamps, and burying them under something else. So let's just put that back on there, and then that'll be all nice and safe. Put that away. Do you do that? Do you bury your stamps and then can't find them? God, I'm terrible at doing that. Nice colours all blending together though. As you can see, I've been using this for all the trials that I've done on the other bits of card that I'll show. But the colours all go fairly well together. The only one that I didn't think went too well was this grey sort of colour. Not sure that that fits into the palette as well. I think I'd have liked a paler pink rather than that grey colour, a paler pink, because these three pinks are so close together, you can't really see a huge amount of difference, as you'll see in the test papers that I've done. Anyway, let's get another piece of card and we'll do some Pixie Powders. Rightio, so I'm back with a piece of plain card, smooth cardstock, and I'm just going, this is just ordinary plain, it's not watercolour or anything like that, it's just ordinary plain cardstock, and I'm going to spritz it with some water, and then I'm going to tap on these two colours because I think they'll go, I'm hoping that they're going to go really well as the wings for the dragonflies. And so this is Midnight Blue and Candy Pink, although they do have, Pixie Powders do have other colours within them. So you can see Midnight Blue has got like a, I hope that's focused, it's got like a purpley colour with it. And the Candy Pink has got a fabulous sheen, and this has got like a blue sheen. Yeah, so let's see what happens. So let's spritz the paper. So we're going to give it a good spritz, and we can always spritz on some more if we need to. And then we're going to just give them a little shake so that you don't have to shake them afterwards because they, oops, sorry, drop that. They come out really quickly. So just make sure the shake and the powder is loose, and then we're going to very gently, just, hope you can see this, tap, tap, tap. And there's already lovely purples and blues and greens coming out there. And then I'm going to do the same with the pinks so that we start mixing some colours together. Right, I think that's dried up already. Let's just give it another bit of a spritz. Look at that. Ooh, love that bit. That is super. So just hold it at a little angle. Try not to tap it too hard because quite a lot does come out. And then we're going to choose the best bits for stamping the dragonfly wings. So we can try and bring this card alive. So I think that was the pink. And yes, that's the blue. Excellent. So let's give it another spritz. Ooh, look at that. That's excellent. Love it. And you can put on as much or as little as you want. But it's always best to let it dry naturally because you can heat it with a heat gun, but I prefer to let it dry naturally because I think it keeps the mica sheen more if you let it dry naturally, and it does take a little while to dry obviously because I've flooded it with quite a lot of water, but you know, if you want to, you can chase your colours around, you can blow them with a straw and make other patterns, or you can just leave it like that. but I don't know if you can see how the mica is all, can you see that if I do that? How there's all lovely micas in this glistening water. So as I say, you can make it as wet or as dry as you want. I might just give it another little whoosh. Let's see what happens with that. Oh, loving that, loving that. And it's super with the blues and things. Yeah, I think we're going to be all right. Look at that. Yeah, this section here for some wings is going to really, and the pink up there is really going to bring them, pop them up and give them some life. And so now I'm just going to let that dry naturally, and then I'll be back. So I'm just going to cut this stenciled piece down so that we cut just down to the edge here, so it doesn't look like we've got a an extra edge there. There's only a tiny little bit that I need to cut off. There you go, so just right close to the edge. And I think it's a 5x5 stamp. Let's just have a look. Stencil, I mean, not stamp, stencil. Right, get on the inches. And so it's 5 1/4. No. 5 1/4. Just maybe a tad over 5 1/4 inches from side to side of the stencil, or 13.5 centimeters, I would say. You can obviously cut it to wherever you want. If you wanted to leave it as it was, or you want to have a border, then your choice, your card, your choice. But I like mine to be cut down to the edge, like that. And then I'm going to mount it up on, I found some lovely matching pearlized card to put it on, and I'm going to leave about 1/4. I think I'll leave about 1/4 rather than a teeny weeny. Let's have a look and see what a teeny weeny looks like. Now I think it needs a little bit more, and that'll pick up the glistening edge from the glistening edge will match the wings that we're going to do on there. And so yeah, I think that that'll be about right. Check it's square. That's the sort of thing I'll forget about. Yeah, so that's 5, and oh yes, it's actually square. So we're going to go to 9 on here. And that should maybe. Oh, I didn't do that very well, did I? Because I've only got I did 1/4, so I've got an 1/8. I should have done a 1/2 inch, shouldn't I? I'll see if I've got another bit of this card, but I don't think I have, so I might have to do a smaller. And that's what it would look like. Well, that looks all right. Yeah, actually, I think that looks good. Let's not waste. Let's not waste. I would have preferred to have a bigger edge, but as I've messed up, got my maths wrong, it doesn't matter. That fits nicely on there. Excellent. So that's the layer, and then this is the base card, which is a 7x7. Well, if it is 7, I'm not sure. Let's have a look. 7x7s don't always come up at 7x7. Yeah, it's not. I don't get that. I don't get that. 6 3/4. Yeah, definitely 6 3/4 square, not 7-inch square. I don't know why they sell them as 7-inch if they're not 7-inch to start off with. But I think that will look really lovely. Yeah, let's go for it. Here is the Pixie Powders once they're dry. And look at them. Look at how glossy and sheen. Beautiful blues and pinks and turquoises. And yeah, so many different colours in there. I did add a little bit more of the powders because as they were drying it didn't look quite rich enough for me, and so I tapped a little bit more on, and I did a little bit more spritzing actually, and put a little bit more water on there, just a couple of squirts, and then tapped some different colour, the blues and the pinks in, just to give that iridescent-y look. And so the wings of the dragonfly are going to look super. So now what we need to do is to stamp the stamp on the back of this, and then fussy cut out the wings. So it's if you can, it's best to place the stamp where you think you're going to get some good colours for the wings. And so we're not going to stamp on this side, we're going to stamp it on this side, but just so that you get an idea of where you want it to be. You know, if I placed it there, I'd have some pinks and turquoises and purples. Oh, that one's nice because it's got a nice lot of pink in the middle and different colours. So I think that I'm going to go there. So I'm just going to make a little mark. Just going to make a little centre mark on both sides so that I know where I'm going to place it. Oops, that one didn't come across. Sorry. Put my arm in there. Let's have a little look. Like that. So we're just going to stamp it like that, just so that we've got something that we can cut out, and we're not stamping it on the other side so that you can still use everything else around it. And so I'm just going to stamp this with some VersaFine, and use just want the shape of the wings. Don't know why I did there we are, just need the shape of the wings. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to place it and do it like this. Like that. I'm going to put this on it so I can just press and rub where I need it. There we go. And then I'm just going to fussy cut out these two sets of wings. So I've just got my little scissors. So while you fussy cut and turn the paper and not your scissors, try and keep your scissors in the same position, and that'll make it a lot easier for you. And cut right up to the join there. Get that one out of the way a bit, so we can go out of the way a bit, please. Roll the paper round. Excellent. Doesn't really matter if you don't cut dead on the lines, because it's going to we're going to turn it over, and so you're not actually going to see, so it's just to get the shape. So that we've got some wings that we can chop it off now. Yeah, so there we've got some wings that we can use to give this 3D effect. So just trim that bit off of there, and then we can have a look and see what we got. Oh, beautiful, look at that. Oh, I just need to cut that little tiny bit off there because it's got a bit of a misshape. Cut that white off. Oh, wow, look at that. How beautiful is that? So what we're going to do is we're going to just shape these wings up like that. And then we're going to stick the middle, down like that. And so we've got the wings look like that, they're flying. There, that's going to look super. Gosh, that picks up the colours really well, doesn't it? Really like that. Nice. Okay, so I'll just cut this other one out and I'll speed it up. So that's what they're going to look like. I've got a bit that's white. I'm going to just colour that with a little bit of powder before I stick it on, just so that it doesn't look so plain on the end there. But they're looking really lovely. And so next thing we'll do is we'll stick these on to here, and we'll do a little bit of glittering with the Quickie Glue Pen, which is just, it's like a blue. I'll get it to work. Oops, does that run out? I think I might have to get another one out. So here we are, new Quickie Glue Pen. Let's get that one out of the way. So if you've not seen these before, this is how I buy mine, and I normally get the 6. You can buy them individually. I think you might be able to get them in packs of 3, but I use them quite a lot for putting glitter onto tiny little spaces where you just want to be able to draw a line, or if you want to go over a sentiment or something like that, and then put some gilding flakes or foil or glitter or whatever on the top. I find these are really good because they do a very fine line, 0.7mm fine line. They're made by Sakura of America. No shaking, squeezing. For the permanent bond, use when the glue is wet. That's when it's a light blue colour. For a temporary bond, if you allow the glue to dry and it goes invisible, then you can, if you use it just to stick, you know, maybe if you want to stick something down temporarily, and then you can peel it off again. The only thing that I just mentioned is that when you take the lid off, they've got a tiny little cap. It's a tiny weeny little cap over the nib, so that obviously so no glue is lost, I suppose. But anyway, you just need to take that off before you can make it work. And there we are. I don't know if you can see that, can you? It draws a blue line, and so while it's blue, if you adhere your glitter to it, then it will stick permanently. And so we're just going to do that. So first of all, I'm just going to find my glue and give this a shake. And we're just going to stick these down. And come on out. Oh, here we come. So we're just going to have a little bit of glue in the middle there. And then we're going to pop it down in the shape of the wing, just so that it covers the black area, like that. Just hold it down till you get a grip, and then we can let that one dry while we stick the other one on. So just a little bit of, this is just wet glue, PVA glue that I've put into a little bottle, and with a fine nib, and then pop that one on there so that it covers up the shape of the black wing. There we are. So just press that down for a second, and then I'm just going to go down the body of the dragonfly and around the head, and do a little line all the way around the wings and some little dots in between, so that and then I'm going to put this Nouveau, there we are, hopefully you can see that. I'm just going to draw down where I want the glitter to stick. A few little dots up there, and then I'm just going to go around the edge of the wings. Just like that. Oops, we missed that bit there. Let's go back to that. And up this one. That's gone all the way around there. And just do this one so that we can glitter them both together. Sorry, I'm concentrating to try and keep a decent straight line. And just put a few little dots and little lines just in the wing. Just so that the glitter, oops, put my pin back. Trying to do that one-handed unsuccess. Oh, I did it. And let's get this off. Cool, look at that. That's lovely. Wow, do you like that? Nice. That's Night Fever, Nouveau Night Fever. I'm just going to sprinkle a little over the wings, on his head and down the body. Just like that. Head. And just give it a little shake about. Oh wow, look at that. That's lovely. Really nice. I think I've just missed a tiny little bit here. And I might just do a little bit there on the middle of the body. I think I missed that one. And there. Just give it a second to dry, and then we can dip another little bit on. Look at that. Love it. Love the sparkle on that. Super. Okay, I'm just going to clear this glue up and I'll be back and we can finish the card off. Lovely. Okay, so we've still got all of this left so that we can use that for another project. Pop that in your scraps drawer. Okay, so we're now going to mount this onto this piece of purple card. So we're going to pop that on there like that. And because this is a bit glossy, I'm going to use some red tape. And so, excuse me, I've got two rolls that are stuck together here, but I'm only using one of them. I'm using this one here. And so let's just pop some red tape on the back. Okay, so now I just need my pokey tool to get this up. Just going to make a crease in that so I don't have to take the whole of the tape off and won't be able to adjust it. So I like to take just the two corners. So take that corner up and then do the opposite corner. And so that you can press down on the corners that have still got the tape cover on, and you don't stick it into place straight away. And so like that. I might just have to bend it with that because this is plastic back. Right, so let's get this the right way up. And get my corners out. So I'm going to press on the corners. Oops, made a boo-boo there. Sorry the video was cut off at the end of making the card, but I was nearly there. It was operator error. My phone battery died during the recording. Lesson learnt. I'll ensure I have 100% battery before I start next time. So I have recorded just an explanation of how I finished the card, along with the outcome of whether I would buy the inks I reviewed while making the card. Yeah, and so I just stuck that all the way around with some red tape, and just a little tip so that you can get it placed and get your even border. If you peel up the tape ends from this corner or from opposite corners, it doesn't matter if it's these corner or these, but just peel them back about 1.5 inches and fold it, and do the same on this corner. And then you can place your card down, hold the corners that are not that you've still got the release paper on, so that they don't stick, and you can then move it into place, and then once you're happy where you've got your border equal all the way around, you're holding it in place, just run your finger down and you will you can start sticking the corners that you've revealed. Then you can just pull your tabs out and smooth your card, smooth the card all the way down. Then I've stuck the purple to the base card, 7-inch base card, with some Collal glue. Just generously covered the back, not too close to the edges for people who are new, so that it doesn't squeeze out. And then you can just turn it over, give it a good press down, and within a second it's grabbed. Well, within 2 or 3 seconds it's grabbed, and you've got a lovely card. And so that's the end of this little demonstration tutorial with the Craft Artist inks making a card. I think that will be lovely. There's plenty more I could colour in there, but I don't think I will. I think I'm going to leave some of the boxes, these smaller boxes, just plain, because I think that I've given that enough. It's got a lot of colour at the top. It's got the two dragonflies coloured nicely, matching the happiness blue words, and then we've got the silver in the middle and a little bit of pink coming up there. So there we are. That's the envelope, and that's the card that goes with it. I must say that I am far more impressed with making a card with the ink petals than I was with doing all the testing that you saw. But I think and I hope that you'll find that the review I've done is quite interesting, and that it gives you some information if you then go on, you choose to buy the inks themselves. And hopefully when you've watched the other 4 people doing theirs, and they've all, I think we've all got different colours, then you'll be able to see what they're all about and make a decision as to whether you want to go ahead and purchase some. But now I've done a card with it, yes, I would purchase them. I think that they have turned out really well. They're blended nicely, and I'm really very happy with the outcome of my card. Thank you very, very much for watching. If you've got any questions that you'd like to ask on the review, then either leave them on my blog or on CraftWorld site, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you've got. Thank you very much, and see you again soon. Bye-bye. You can see how all the testing went using white, Kraft and black cardstock, and trying all the techniques mentioned in this picture in part 1 of my product review. There's a link in the description below.